Right. Good evening, everybody. The vicissitude of life. Growing up, my father used this term a lot. I think the first time I heard this term was I was 5. Didn't know what it meant. Um, but now, as an adult, it couldn't be clearer than day. Today, I'm here to talk about my journey, talk about the highs and lows of my journey. My life, my journey started on a high note, I would say. I was born in the 80s to two remarkable parents who were high school sweethearts. I was born in Monrovia, Liberia, in West Africa. We grew up in a middle-class family. My parents worked in an upper middle-class job, upper management job. Growing up, there was a lot there to admire. We lived in a good neighborhood. We took vacations. We had a maid. We had a driver. Life was good until 1989, when the Civil War in Liberia started. That began the low point in my life. Before I talk about my journey or continue with my story, let me talk a little bit about Liberia. So Liberia is a small country in West Africa, almost the size of Tennessee, or slightly larger than Tennessee, about 43 square miles or so. A population of about 5 million people, 16 tribes, and over 30 languages spoken. Liberia was founded in 1847 by freed slaves from the United States of America. Liberia, back in the days, the free slaves, prior to the Emancipation Proclamation, decided that they wanted to repatriate to Africa and start a new life for themselves. So they went back, settled with the indigenous, and started a new nation called Liberia, which meant the land of liberty. Liberia was actually the first republic on the continent of Africa. Liberia has a very interesting story. From 1847 to 1980, Liberia was politically stable and economically viable. Fast forward to 1989, when the Civil War started. I still remember it was Christmas of 1989 when we turned on the radio and we heard that war had started on the borders. Nobody understood what that really meant, because Liberia had been peaceful for over 140 years. People thought it was a fluke. People thought things were just gonna blow over 6 months, maybe. But as the war progressed, this 6-month war lasted for 16 years. 12 years of my life was through the war. We lost it all, essentially. Family, our communities, properties, everything. We lost it all. The war was brutal. I witnessed a lot of terrible things. My parents were able to essentially take us out of the country, and we moved into camps. But life on the camps was harsh as well. I still remember being very, very ill, that I couldn't walk, came down with pneumonia and malaria, and things were terrible. But as God would have it, my parents were able to move us into a neighboring country, the Ivory Coast, and we started life over. Life got better. My parents were able to find work. I graduated high school and moved to Ghana for college to study mechanical engineering. After 2 years, I got a scholarship to the United States, Berea, Kentucky, of all places, right? I still remember in Ghana, I was going to the internet cafe. At the time it was cafe, so you paid for time, right? So, there was no browsing on your phone or anything like that. You paid for time. I remember I had my last money, but because I was anticipating a response from the college, I went to check my email, and behold, I got an email with a full ride scholarship to the United States. I was very ecstatic. I told my parents, and in less than a month or so, I was already in the United States. So I started living Started college in the United States, and life was great. I was finally living the dream. Freshman year was pretty much high. Talk about ups and downs, but I was at the high. College was great. I was meeting people from all walks of life. I was getting educated. Everything was great. So freshman year was great. Sophomore year, maybe a little homesick. Junior year, things kind of stabilized, and by senior year, I was just ready to graduate and start my career. So I graduated in 2010, and we all know 2010 was one of the worst years for new graduates. I think unemployment for new graduates was like about 9%, and for a black new graduate was 15%. So things were bad. Graduated, and that was really not the life I had envisioned for myself, pretty much. Work a lot of odd jobs, warehouse jobs, manufacturing jobs. I got frustrated and decided to go to grad school. But there was one problem. Because I was not a citizen, I couldn't qualify for loans. So I did apply for school and deferred to the following semester, decided to keep working and saving up. And then one cold Monday morning, I decided to take probably one of the biggest leap of faith in my life. I decided to go to a local college to go see the president of that college and ask them, do you have scholarship for international students? Believe it or not, the secretary of the president listened to me, heard me out, and she said, and maybe there's an opportunity because there are other international students who are supposed to be graduating this semester, and maybe that will open up a spot for you. Give me your information, and I'll keep it in mind. I didn't think too much of it. I went home, back to the grind. 3 days after, I remember I was in the gym, working out, scrolling through Instagram, and then there you go, this email popped up, with something very similar. I opened it up, and just like deja vu, I had another full ride scholarship, talking about a double high. Started college and graduated college and had my son the same year, talking about a triple high. Life was going good, but I still didn't have my papers. Following year, I lost my job because I couldn't work, and I had to wait for a work permit for 17 months. I was out of work. Tough times. While I was unemployed, I went through a divorce, and I went to a low. After that, got my papers back and decided I was going to move to Dallas. So I packed up, I sold everything, moved to Dallas. I got here March 2020. The pandemic had just started. Perfect timing. As you all know, the pandemic was rough, especially being in a new city and with my son. That was kind of tough. But things got better and started expanding my network. Started to make new friends and got a job with a startup company that I really liked and started to grow with the company. Was able to buy another house again and just start life all over and establish a great bond with my son. Through it all, life has taught me that there's ups and downs, and it really have really shaped me quite a bit. I just want to stand in front of you and tell you guys that with all the ups and downs, life has taught me to be resilient, has taught me to be humble, has taught me to keep going, and has just taught me to just learn to ride the wave, stack your wins, stay optimistic, and just keep going. That's the vicissitude of my life. Thank you for listening.